Well, you guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Gabrielle Ariana, and I am back with another video. And so, from the title, we're doing a Movie Mondays, and we're gonna be talking about the movie, The Photograph. But before we get into the video, you guys, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn the post notification bell on so you are notified every single time I upload. You guys, this movie. So, I actually just watched this movie last night. I don't know, I felt the urge to watch it, and I really love it. Let's get right into the video. So the plot of this movie is basically a guy and a girl meet. The guy is a journalist, and he is doing a piece on a photographer. And so the photographer just happens to be the girl's mom. Her name is May, played by the beautiful and amazing, my good sis, Issa Rae. You know what I'm saying? May, Ray, come on, bars. Anywho. And of course, the guy is played by Lakeith. Oh, he's so beautiful. Yes! We love it to see it. We love to see black love. We love to see black love without trauma. Well, yeah, without trauma, without the toxicness, you know, that stuff. We just like to see a good, beautiful black love movie where it's just people learning about themselves in life and what they really want and how hard they're willing to go for what they want, and not allowing the obstacles that life throws at you to stop you from what you want, you know, or who you want, actually, but I should say. But anywho, yeah, so he's a journalist. She is she's not a photographer, but she works in photography, so she works with, like, you know, looking at pictures and stuff like that. And so they meet off him doing this interview about her mom, who's a photographer. And yeah, so in the movie, it's two love stories that you're seeing simultaneously, but it's also like a full circle moment being happening in the movie. And I love a good full circle moment in a movie, which is in life and just in general. I love a good full circle moment because everything's gonna come full circle regardless. And so the plot is basically that they're just now meeting, and they have this instant, like, attraction, this instant connection, just an instant feeling between each other, like, and they don't know where it's coming from. He's just got out of a relationship, and she's also single as well, but he kind of pursued her, but then she was interested, and so they ended up going on the date, hitting it off, you know. Sparks were flying, their connection was there, chemistry was there. They end up going, well, they were actually in communication with each other throughout because of the journal, because of the piece that he was doing on her mom. And so that's kind of like what kind of kept them communicating. But then also, outside of the fact of that, they wanted to talk to each other because they had a thing for each other. And yeah, so essentially, like, they had this deep connection that they felt, all of knowing each other for like less than a month. And I feel like, you know, time does not matter because time is not real. It's very much objective. It's not a linear thing. And when you really feel something for someone, you feel a deep connection, it don't matter how long you know them. It's just, if it's an instant and it's real and it feels real and authentic, babe, time don't matter. But sparks was flying, you know. They do the deed in the movie, and they just have a really cool connection with each other, like a bond. They just was here with it. And I really love this movie because it gives such a old school meets new school vibe, 90s in the 2000s, back in the day type of vibe, but like a beautiful Afrocentric vibe. Like, I just don't know how to explain it, but the vibe of the movie is just impeccable. The scenery, the soundtrack is freaking amazing. The soundtrack of this movie is 10 out of 10. Like, there's not one song in this movie that is just like, no. And I love that the songs in the movie does a great job of depicting the setting and the time of which they're portraying in the movie. So you get to hear some old school, you know, some Anita Baker, some Whitney Houston. We love Nippy. Some Al Green. You hear her. You hear Drake. They talk about Kendrick Lamar. And I just love how they did a good job of attracting new school, old school, and intertwining that in the plot of the movie itself and kind of making it a theme. Yeah, so essentially May's mom was like I wouldn't say problematic, but she was just a misunderstood individual, and she just wanted a lot for herself and a lot in life. They grew up in nothing, didn't have a lot. She's from New Orleans, so it takes place in New Orleans, it takes place in New York, and then they also go to London. We love London. And anywho, May's mother is so she's in New Orleans. She has her boyfriend. I don't know why my memory is not serving me right now, because I just watched the movie last night. I forgot the name of her mom and the boyfriend, which ended up being her dad. But you see their love story and how they were in love with each other, and their relationships kind of mirrored in a sense May's and Michael's relationship. May growing up and having certain traits like, you know, that her mom had, and how they were traits in a sense that kind of held her mom back from love. And so in the movie she says like she wished she was good at love as she wasn't working. And I really love how the movie shows a depiction of a woman who is an individual first before she's a mother, because I feel like as a child, or as children, we often just see our parents as just our parents and forget to see them as a person, because they are a person. Like, they were them before they were a mom, you know what I'm saying, or a dad. And in the movie you really kind of get to see, like, as a May being her daughter, she didn't really know if her mom really loved her. She didn't really get that genuine love through affection and words of affirmation. Her mom showing up for her. All she really was, you know, wrapped up in was work, because that's what she was good at, was, you know, taking photos, being a photographer. So much to say that she also didn't know how to show love to others, and she wasn't good at really expressing herself in a sense. So she was just, you know, she ghosted her boyfriend, the beautiful chocolatess that is Elon. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name correctly. That's his real name. I may be butchering it, but and all he wanted was the simpler things in life. He was very, very simple, and he wanted her. And whatever the hell that entailed is just, as long as I'm with you, nothing else matters. I don't care about the, you know, the fancy cars, fancy this, extra. He, like, not to say he wasn't ambitious or anything, but he was a very simple man. He didn't, the material, the physical didn't do anything for him. He didn't care. All he cared about was just loving her and wanting to be with her and marrying her. She was like, I love you, I'm not ready for marriage, but I also want more for myself, and I want more out of life. I want more than just us being, you know, by the bayou in New Orleans doing what we do. I want more than that. She eventually rents and branches off and goes to New York without saying anything to anyone. You see in the movie how May as a person low-key transitions into, comes from her mom and how her mom was. Keith's character, he was just someone, I feel like his character was more from how they depicted it, is like he just kind of fell fast for women. Not any women, but his feelings were just like, oh, I really feel this way about this girl. I want to give it my all. I want to really try it out, even though he had just got out of a relationship. Not just getting out of a relationship, but I believe they were engaged. And she said no, something like that. I see, my memory is not serving, because this is not an important detail. Anywho, just for, you know, him to meet May, and he's just like head over heels. And just like he was like all of, you know, had felt this connection, she felt the connection as well. Neither of them really knew how to maneuver their feelings and express that. But I do love that full circle moment in the movie where them two, May and Michael, are in New Orleans at the same like shindig that her mom and her dad, because eventually you're gonna learn that's her dad, but her boyfriend were. And it was just, I love the full circle moment where she's wearing her yellow dress. I thought that was just so beautiful. And he just expressed to her like, hey, I'm gonna go to London, because he got a full-time job that he applied for prior to meeting her. out of the country. He told her, of course, like, you know, I don't know where this is gonna go, but I feel like I have to tell you this just in case, because I still want to work out. I want us to at least try to pursue something if I do get this job. He did get the job in London, and while she's gonna be in New York, and she was just like scared, and her point of it was like, I don't want us to try to make it work just for it to not work. Like, I don't want to get together to break up. He's like, no, but I want to try, like, let's at least put, you know, let's try some. She's like, no, let's just enjoy the moment that we have right now. But that was the traits from her mom really like overpowering that moment, because in all, she really didn't feel that way. She really wanted him to stay. She really wanted to be with him. She just didn't want to say, like, how can I tell this man that I just met that I feel something deeply for to uproot his life for me. And that's literally like what she said, not verbatim, but you know, along the lines. And I get that, but I also feel like when you have a deep connection with someone, you gotta explore it. You know, you just gotta explore it. You gotta, especially when it's mutual. Y'all mutually feel this way about each other. Of course, life is gonna throw every obstacle it can at you. Of course, you're gonna be the person, like the love of your life. The moment he's finna fucking uproot and go to London, and you're gonna be all the way out here, and y'all gonna be two completely different countries. But that's the test that God is giving you to show how much do you really want this person. How much is this connection really, you know, real, or is it something that you're just saying is real but it's not real? And of course it was real, because they ended up together in the movie. I do want to talk a little bit about the fact that May grew up with, well, she had a dad who was her mom's husband, but he wasn't her dad. However, she did not know that. Her dad was actually the boyfriend, which is Elon. And I thought that take was so like, it had me feeling like, you know, teary-eyed, because I didn't mention this earlier, but the mom passed away. So she died because she was sick. I believe she had cancer. And she wrote May this letter. So it's the letter that's low-key telling the story of the love of May's mother and her father. And she don't learn until like the end of the movie where that is actually her father when she's reading the letter. But it's two stories happening at once. You see that love story being depicted by May's mom writing the story to her daughter May to tell her that she had, like, who her father is. And simultaneously you're seeing the love story between May and Michael, and them kind of going through their motions of, you know, how they're feeling with each other. And the dad, the older version of the dad, also is low-key intertwined. So it's just, I just think the creators of the movie, on like a producer type of like lens, and like director type of lens and storytelling lens, was impeccable. Chef kiss. I really love how all the dots connected and they intertwined, but it wasn't confusing. And each story got to be told in its entirety. And even though it didn't end with like a happy ending, it low-key ended between her mom and her dad, but it didn't really end because she was their daughter. So although he didn't get to be with the love of his life, because his advice was to Michael was like, he regretted not going after her when she left. And it was just so sad, because like, low-key, she was just a woman going through the motions and going through a lot in life and trying to find herself. But she wasn't gonna allow love or her relationship with him to deter her from going towards her dreams and striving for more in life, because that's what she really wanted. And you know, however, in the end of it all, she did end up meeting someone, being married with someone else, but it was like her heart was always with him. So I would say that she really lost more than she thought she was gaining with that. I would have said, fuck all of that. If I'm in that situation, in that scenario, like this movie, I mean, yeah, it's cool to have the finer things in life, but like, the finest things in life are the moments you share with the person that you really love and the people that you really love, and that deeper connection, because you don't get that. You know, you can go off to New York, you're not gonna get that in New York because that person is all the way in New Orleans. But yeah, so like the father, when time lapse, he don't get May back. He doesn't get her mom back, but he does get piece of her, which is May. And so now they get to build that relationship with each other. It just sucks because the mom's not there and she told them the way that she did through a letter. But you know, I love a good letter. Write me a letter. You know what I'm saying? Make your hand hurt, because texting is just too easy. Yeah, I just thought that was cute and unfortunate, but not everything can end with a happy ending, because he actually went off and got married to the very girl that he told May's mother not to worry about in the beginning of the movie. I thought that was interesting. I just find it very interesting. The very person they tell you not to worry about, the one person they say don't worry about, no, she's the, how you end up marrying her? Of all the people in New Orleans, G, that's the one you marry? The one that's always in your face? The one that your girlfriend told you likes you and you're like, no, she don't. I digress. So I don't know, I love this movie. I'm gonna tell y'all my favorite scene. Also a fun fact. Now the photography in the movie, start with the fun fact, is shoot it. We're all shot by an actual black woman. In the like bonus features, the creators of the movie talked about how they wanted to have actual photos captured by an actual black woman, so it's just as real as the movie is being depicted, because she was a black woman who's a photographer. So they found a black photographer to shoot all of the pictures and films that you see in the film, and in the actual DVD, like on the bonus features, you get to see all the pictures, and it's really cool. My favorite scene, so my favorite scene, I have two. My favorite ones, because is one sentimental, one is like lovey. So my sentimental one is when she has that aha moment that her dad is her dad, and her mom tells her who her dad is in the letter, and she goes off to New Orleans to see him, and when he sees her for the first time, he knew who she was, but it was like realizing that the mom was gone, it was like, damn, but the daughter's there. It was so sad to me. It was such, again, that was a full circle moment. It was an aha moment, and it was like a, oh my gosh, like almost kind of like my whole life is a lie, but it's not a lie, because you know, it just kind of, I feel like everything made sense. It low-key for her was like confirming everything, like just like, okay, this is why my mom is the way that she is, and she got to see her mom as not her mom. And I really again want to emphasize how much I really love that they depicted that in this movie, is that your parent is not just your parent, they are a person first. And it's important as us as the children to understand that, because just like us, we're not their daughter or their son first, we are who we are first. And it also goes to show how you grow up to be certain ways with certain traits and, you know, etc., because of how you were raised or who you were raised by. Like, it's all connected. Beautiful. And then my other second favorite scene is when they're in New Orleans, of course. She got her yellow dress, and they're just vibing, dancing to the music. They're enjoying themselves, and it was just a beautiful moment, as well as when they were in the dark room, when they went to the old house. It's just how they overlap the scene, what's the word? The setting and the scenery and the time was just beautiful. But yeah, I really love that movie. I feel like if y'all have not seen it, definitely go see it. It was amazing. It's so good. I love Issa Rae. I love Lakeith. They're just both amazing actors and actresses. And Issa Rae is also an executive producer, of course, in the movie, so that's super cool. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me talking about one of my good favorite little movies and my movie collection. Please let me know if you guys seen the movie and what is your favorite scene, what is your intake on it, their love story, how they overlapped, etc. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.